Oh snap!
Cute.
It's beautiful.
This place is dangerous. Take my hand.
The music is really good. Oh, oops!
Music, guys.
I almost missed that.
Oh shit.
Wait, so
You're just showing
she's
all
very
of it.
shiny.
Right away. Okay. Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
Goddamn, mommy.
Excuse me.
Okay, girl.
She's stunning. They're all stunning.
To be
Where's
who?
my those are the others.
Damn.
Oh,
So it's 2024, and we get to see how women actually react to video games that have characters like Stellar Blade. We do have access to Twitch. We do have access to YouTube. We can see popular streamers reacting. We have friends in our real life that are women and they're playing video games. And it seems that overwhelmingly, they prefer sexy characters. Especially in video games that are rated M for mature, especially in video games where you do things that are out of the mundane, like for instance, slashing the aliens with a sword and stuff like that. They would also prefer if the character doesn't look bland and unappealing. Because apparently, and I know this is shocking, but sexiness is empowering for women. If you're a woman that's incredibly attractive, chances are you can go into a social circle and automatically people pay attention to you. If you know what you're doing and you're a little bit charismatic, you can also manipulate the interactions in your favor. Kratos, you know, the male power fantasy, the masculine guy, was controlled by the woman he loved. Like, his wife was the only person in the universe that could actually control and influence Kratos. So like, yeah, for women, sexiness is definitely power. So I'm not surprised when I look at streamers that are women and they actually enjoy Stellar Blade. And they enjoy Bayonetta as well, and they enjoy Nier, like they enjoy all of these games that have sexy character. And the reason I even bring it up is because game journalists and activists have been struggling for the last 5 years to tell us that no, the opposite is true. That women actually want the mundane, that they're willing to spend $70 just to see themselves, something that they can do in the mirror for free. Or that they want to see in video games that are fantasy oriented. They want to see the mundane. They want to see the same people that you get to see on the streets. And it's becoming worse and worse, you know, to the point where, as I mentioned before, even in Pokemon Go, for no reason whatsoever, they decided to take the female characters, which weren't over the top, weren't lewd or anything, and they just masculinized them. They gave them broader shoulders. They changed the body type into one bland that's like on the anatomy atlas that you get to see when you're studying medicine. They changed the jawlines. They gave them grayish, palish skins. And people are in an uproar. And this is even the Pokemon Go community, which I find very interesting, because there are some accounts that were shaming me when I was defending Stellar Blade, that were shaming me when I was making fun of Star Wars Outlaws. And they were saying, oh, if you don't like it, go watch porn. And now it seems that the same benchmark, the same standards of beauty that were applied to my games are now being applied to their games, and they don't like it. And it's so hilarious that I even see trans people not liking this. Like, there's trans people that are coming out and saying, like, why did you make these changes? They're horrible. And you know, isn't that bizarre that if you have a person that's transitioning, when they're playing a video game, they want to play as a beautiful woman? Honestly, like, the whole concept of representation was stuffed down upon us, dictated by the corporations and the academia, without actually consulting anyone. We didn't have to say it. We were never consulted and asked. It's like, this concept was never put to the scientific method to see if it actually holds up. Like, no, most people, when they play a fantasy game, they do not want to be represented. They want to do something fantastic. They want to do something that they can't do in real life. Honestly, when I saw those ladies on Twitch reacting to Stellar Blade and said, oh, I want to cosplay that was literally the first thing on her mind. In other words, she wants to support the company by purchasing merchandise so that the company doesn't have to sell you $120 deluxe edition and then charge you extra for DLC. They can make up those money by selling merch. It's smart business. But anyway, the thing that really shocks me is that you get to see on our Pokemon Go where this is genuinely an issue. Don't let people turn this issue into a culture war point. I mean, the level of cope that you need to have in order to write something like this. The changes are due to the culture war. Like, the culture war is between the corporations, the activists, the people that are wealthier than you and have more power and influence than you will ever have, and the average customer. This is what the culture war is about. It's not left-wing or right-wing. It's about the corporate bootlickers and everyone else. Honestly, it's almost like the only time that everything isn't political, it's when it's used against them. If this was a change that only happened in Pokemon Go, I would agree that it's not part of the culture war. If some artist or higher up decided, hey, you know, this is what our community wants, let's give it what they want, that would have been a different conversation. But we notice that they're going against their community, they're not willing to roll back the change, and this is not about Pokemon Go either, it's an industry standard. All AAA games are removing the word female from their games, and they're adding body type A, body type B. All AAA games are modifying their female characters to make them look more masculine. Like, if this is representation, I would call it a mockery. If you think this represents my mother or my wife, you are gravely mistaken. And again, it's an industry trend. Like, they're going back to games that were already released that didn't cause any type of controversy on release, and they're changing it for the worst. And sometimes they just remove the women altogether and they add a bowl of fruits. To say that this is not part of a culture war, to say that there aren't people pushing for this, going from company to company, pressuring corporations to do this, and if you genuinely think this is grassroots, that this is like all these companies that are supposed to be competing with each other, they're just deciding unilaterally to do this, you're absolutely delusional. There is a culture war. There are consultants that are getting rich by doing this grift. And if you don't speak out, you're going to get games that will be even more expensive, will offer a worse product, because this is just the aesthetics, but the same thing can also be said about the quality of the game itself, because when you're hiring people that are so incompetent, so out of touch with the market, they're going to promote their friends, which are also incompetent and out of touch. And you notice that last year, most games didn't even work on launch. And this is the future of the industry. Now, again, it depends how much you care about your hobbies. You know, if you got other hobbies, I can understand why you're not upset. But it does seem that the people from Pokemon Go, which were laughing at me when I was concerned about the way that game journalists are treating Stellar Blade, or when I was concerned with the aesthetics from the video games that I like, they found it amusing. Well, who's laughing now?